There are 5 GMC trucks that mechanics flat out refuse to sell. And it's not because they can't find buyers. It's because they've seen what replaces them. I've talked to shop owners and guys with 300,000 miles on the clock. Same answer every time. You'll spend more replacing it than keeping it. One of these trucks is gaining value faster than some investments. Another one costs 12 grand and does the job of a $72,000 vehicle. Here's the list. Sierra 1500 5.3 liters, Vortec 4L60E, 1999 to 2006. The first one's hiding in plain sight. You see them everywhere. Driveways, job sites, church parking lots. They're so common that people forget what they actually are. That 5.3 isn't just some truck engine. It's an iron block LS, the same architecture that powers the Corvette. GM took a performance platform and dropped it into a work truck. That's not marketing. That's engineering. And here's what's happening right now. The clean ones are disappearing. 5 years ago, you could find a rust-free crew cab for 4 or 5 grand. Today, those same trucks are going for 12 to 15,000. And they're still climbing. You know what that reminds me of? The OBS trucks. Everybody ignored those too. Then one day, clean ones were 20 grand and nobody could figure out when it happened. If yours is clean, no rust, maintained original powertrain, do not sell it. I don't care what the dealer offers you. I don't care what your neighbor says. The market hasn't peaked on these yet. In 5 years, you'll either be glad you kept it or sick that you didn't. Here's what's killing these trucks off. Rust. That's it. Not the engine, not the transmission. Rust in the rocker panels, the cab corners, the brake lines. The ones in the south and the west, the dry climate trucks. Those are the ones people are hunting for. If yours survived without major rust, you're sitting on a truck that has a shrinking supply and a growing demand. The drivetrain will outlive the body on these. That's how good it is. Here's your ownership move. This isn't an old truck. It's a truck that people are starting to hunt for. Maintain it like it matters, because it does. It's becoming what a clean square body was 10 years ago. And here's something the new truck guys will never have. The aftermarket for these engines is massive. Rebuild kits, performance parts, upgraded intakes, long tube headers, all of it is available, all of it is cheap, and all of it is documented by thousands of people who've done it before you. Need a new water pump? $40. Ignition coils? $15 each. There's not a single part on this truck that's hard to find or expensive to replace. Try saying that about a 2024 with a 10-speed transmission and a turbo 4-cylinder. If you want the full breakdown on this engine family, I covered it in another video, but you don't need that to understand this. The 5.3 Vortec in your driveway is worth more today than it was yesterday, and it'll be worth more tomorrow than it is today. That's the one everybody overlooks. But this next one gets overlooked for a completely different reason. It lives in the shadow of something louder and more expensive. Let me give you 2 numbers before I even tell you the truck. A clean Duramax from this era? $25,000 to $35,000. The truck I'm about to talk about? 4 to 8 grand. Same frame, same cab, same capability for 90% of owners. The 1999 to 2006 Sierra 2500 HD, 6-liter Vortec, 4L80E transmission. The gas truck that diesel owners pretend doesn't exist. Now I know what you're thinking. The diesel tows more. Sure. If you're pulling 15,000 pounds every weekend, get the diesel. But most 2,500 owners aren't doing that. They're towing a boat twice a year and hauling mulch in the spring. And for that, the 6-liter does the job without the injector bills, without the turbo maintenance, without the fuel system complexity that makes diesel ownership a second mortgage. Here's the thing. That 4L80E transmission in your truck, it's the same unit GM put in ambulances, commercial vehicles, and medium-duty applications. In your Sierra, it's barely working. It was built to handle sustained abuse in vehicles that run 20 hours a day. In a half-ton-up truck doing normal duty, it's loafing. The ownership move here is simple. Every dollar you didn't spend on a diesel, that's your maintenance budget for life. Fluid changes, brakes, tires, and you'll still come out 20 grand ahead of the diesel guy over 10 years. And your truck will still be running. Let me break that down. The diesel guy paid 25 grand for the truck. Over 10 years, he's spending $3,000 to $5,000 on injectors, another $2,000 on turbo maintenance, fuel filters every 10,000 miles, and diesel fuel that costs $1 more per gallon. Add it all up, he's $45,000 to $50,000 deep into a truck. You bought yours for $6,000, spent maybe $5,000 total on maintenance over the same 10 years. $11,000 total. For the same truck that does 90% of what his does. You tell me who made the smarter call. That's not a budget choice. That's the smartest math in the truck market. Quick thing, if this is helping you see your truck differently, hit subscribe. I put out videos every week breaking down what to keep, what to sell, and what to avoid, so you make the smart call, not the expensive one. This next one is the truck nobody respects, and that's exactly why you should keep it. Picture this. Your neighbor just drove home in a brand new Yukon, $72,000, panoramic roof, heads-up display, the whole package. You're standing in your driveway looking at your 2011 Yukon XL that you bought for $12,000 3 years ago. Same V8, same four-wheel drive, same amount of space for the kids. Fast forward 3 years, his Yukon's worth $40,000 and it's sitting at the dealer for a transmission shutter that costs $4,000 to fix. Yours just rolled 240,000 miles and the biggest expense this year was a set of brake pads. The 2007 to 2014 Yukon and Yukon XL with the 5.3 liter, specifically the 2010 to 2014 models, that's the sweet spot. GM updated the 6L80 transmission in those years. The earlier ones are still solid trucks, but 2010 and up is where the powertrain really settled in. Here's why people sell these, and why it's always a mistake. The interior starts to show age, the leather cracks, the dashboard might develop a squeak. The infotainment looks dated compared to the new ones, so the owner trades it in for a newer model with a nicer screen and fresher seats. 2 years later, he's got a $700 payment, a truck that's already depreciated $15,000, and a transmission that's being investigated for shutter complaints. Meanwhile, a leather repair kit costs $40 and a new head unit costs $200. He traded a $40 problem for a $40,000 one. Let me be clear, this is a vehicle that cost $50,000+ new. You can buy one today for $8,000 to $16,000 depending on year and condition, and the powertrain, the same 5.3 and 6L80 combo that's proven across millions of trucks, will do 300,000 miles with basic maintenance. You paid $12,000 for a vehicle that does everything a $72,000 Yukon does except impress your neighbors. And honestly, the guy who keeps his paid-off Yukon running while everyone else is making $700 monthly payments, he's the impressive one. Your ownership move. Stop apologizing for driving an older Yukon. You're not behind. You're ahead. Every month without a payment is money in your pocket. Every mile past 200,000 is proof that you made the right call. And if you've got the XL, you've got something no new crossover or three-row SUV can touch, real towing capacity. A flat cargo floor behind the third row, enough space to haul a family of 6 and all their gear without strapping anything to the roof. People are paying $60,000, $70,000 for a new Suburban to do what your Yukon XL already does. The only difference is theirs has a payment book and yours has a clean title. That's not settling, that's winning quietly. But this next one isn't quiet at all. This next one is loud, it's legendary, and it's making people money just by sitting in the driveway. The 2001 to 2006 Sierra 2500 HD Duramax LB7 or LLY, paired with the Allison 1000 series transmission. If you own one of these, you already know what you have, but I don't think you know what it's becoming. Let me walk you through the price trajectory. 5 years ago, you could find a clean one for $12,000 to $15,000. Today, low-mileage examples are selling for $25,000 to $35,000. I've seen clean LB7s with under 100,000 miles listed at $42,000. And they're selling. This is not a truck anymore. This is an appreciating asset. And here's why. Pre-emissions diesel. No diesel particulate filter, no diesel exhaust fluid, no selective catalytic reduction. Just a turbo diesel that makes power and doesn't choke itself to meet regulations. Every year that passes, every new emissions standard that gets added to modern diesels, these trucks get more valuable because they represent something that doesn't exist anymore. Stay with me here, because the mechanical story is just as good. That Allison 1000 series transmission is rated for 620 to 700 pound-feet of torque. The LB7 makes 520. That means your transmission is running at about 75 to 80% of its capacity on a stock truck. It's not even breathing hard. That's why you hear about these Allisons going 400, 500,000 miles. They were overbuilt from day one. The ownership move on this one is different from the others. This isn't about saving money on maintenance. This is about recognizing that your truck is gaining value every single year. Protect it. Keep the maintenance records. Fix the cosmetics. Because a clean, documented LB7 or LLY Duramax with an Allison is becoming what classic muscle cars became. A vehicle people will pay a premium for simply because nobody makes anything like it anymore. And the math only gets better from here. Every winter, the Rust Belt claims more of these trucks. Every year, another batch gets parted out or scrapped. The supply is shrinking, and it's never coming back. GM is never going to build another pre-emissions diesel. Meanwhile, demand keeps climbing because every new emission regulation makes modern diesels more complex, more expensive to maintain, and more frustrating to own. That's not a market bubble. That's a permanent shift. The trucks that don't have those systems will always be worth more to the people who actually use them. I'm not done yet. Because the number one truck on this list is the one that surprised me the most. Not because it's rare, not because it's expensive, but because of who buys them and who refuses to let them go. Ask any mechanic what truck they drive, not what they recommend to customers, not what they think is cool, what they actually own, put their own money on, drive their own families in. 9 times out of 10, it's this truck. The 2007 to 2013 Sierra 1500, Greenwich Mean Time 900 platform, 5.3-liter, 6L80 transmission. This is the truck mechanics buy for themselves because it's the most predictable vehicle on the road. They know exactly what breaks. They know exactly when it breaks. They know exactly what it costs to fix. And none of it is expensive. The 6L80 replaced the 4L60E and brought real durability improvements. It's a 6-speed automatic that GM refined over millions of units. In the Sierra, it shifts clean, holds up under towing, and doesn't develop the shudder issues that plague some of the newer 8 and 10-speed units. Here's what nobody talks about. The most valuable thing in a high-mileage vehicle isn't horsepower. It isn't towing capacity. It isn't technology. It's predictability. When you know that at 150,000 miles, you'll need a water pump, and it costs $300 and you can do it yourself in an afternoon. That's not a problem. That's a scheduled event. You budget for it. You handle it. You move on. I'll give you the whole list. Water pump around 150,000. Maybe a wheel bearing around 200,000. $200 in a Saturday. Plugs and coils somewhere around 250,000. That's the maintenance timeline for the next 150,000 miles of your truck's life. 3 repairs. Under $700 total. You can write that on a napkin. Try doing that with any truck built after 2018. Compare that to a newer truck where a transmission shudder at 60,000 miles means a $4,000 repair that the dealer says is normal, or an electrical gremlin that 3 different shops can't diagnose, or an infotainment system that freezes every time the temperature drops below 40 degrees. Clean GMT 900s are going for $8,000 to $16,000 right now. A 4-wheel drive crew cab in good shape with reasonable miles. You're looking at $12,000 to $15,000. That's the price of a used sedan. For a full-size V8 truck with a powertrain that'll do 300,000 miles without a single surprise. The ownership move here is the simplest one on this entire list. Keep driving it. That's it. Don't get tempted by the new truck smell. Don't let anyone tell you it's time to upgrade. The truck in your driveway is the upgrade. It's paid off, it's proven, and it'll be running long after the new ones are in the shop trying to figure out why the lane keep assist killed the battery. That's not old. That's bulletproof. 5 trucks, all GMC, all proven, all worth more kept than sold. The pattern is simple. Proven powertrains, mechanical simplicity, parts that cost nothing, and a track record that no new truck on the lot can match. Because the new ones haven't been around long enough to prove anything. Now you know what you have. And more importantly, you know what it's worth. If you want to know which GMC engines are the real gold mines, watch this video right here. 3 forgotten GMC engines everyone ignores, gold mines. And if you want to make yours last past 300,000 miles, this one's for you. How to make your GMC last over 300,000 miles. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.